This is Devaney Cooper, co-campaign director of the 40 Days for Life campaign in Memphis, Tennessee. This is our spring 2011 campaign, and we are halfway in. 22 days in, 17 more days to go, and we just wanted to update you on the blessings that have been happening out at our campaign and in the campaign as we've been planning it. And we also wanted to tell you about some of the interesting things that have been happening and inform you on how you can get involved and continue to make a difference during these next 17 days and encourage and inspire you. It's been a tough time these last 22 days with the weather and everything, and everybody's been real troopers, and God has given us so many blessings, the graces of strength and courage and endurance, and we are just so thankful for all of that. One of the greatest blessings that we've had that we wanted to share first and foremost is that we have spent 750 hours since March 9th at our 2430 Poplar Avenue location, which is Planned Parenthood, in prayer, which is amazing. 750 hours have women and the staff and the children who are in the womb and everyone considering abortion in the weeks to come, and everyone who's had an abortion, everyone who's been affected by this industry. They have been in everyone's thoughts and prayers for 750 hours. At least 2 people, 13 consecutive hours a day, have been praying outside that building, and that is just that's a beautiful thing and such a blessing. Praise be Jesus Christ. We are so happy to report that. The second thing we wanted to report is the message of prayer and fasting has been reaching Memphians for the last 40 days, but even before 40 days began. We have a 40 Days for Life display and representatives that have been going to churches. We were at the Bellevue Baptist Mission Expo. We've been at youth groups and Bible studies and church men and women's groups, and this message of prayer and fasting has literally reached thousands, which is amazing. We're so excited about it because even for a split second, if somebody read that message, pray to end abortion, and they actually prayed, "Dear God, please bring an end to abortion in our city, in our nation," think of how powerful that is. It's so awesome that this message has reached thousands, and that hundreds have actually heeded it going out to the vigil because of the message being put out there. So we are just so thankful for that. Now out at the vigil, some of the blessings that have been happening out there is that we are being used in ways to minister that we didn't anticipate being used, particularly this campaign. We've had so many people walk up to us, particularly this campaign, and tell us how they have been affected by abortion. We have had friends, we have had mothers and fathers of women and men who have had abortions. We've had the women and men themselves. We've had pastors up. We've had so many people are affected by abortion. So many wounds are left because one life is lost. And it just goes to show how important that life is. That life that cannot speak, cannot do, is not even considered life by some. How important and precious it is even in the womb, and how it has affected so many people and left wounds and scars by its being lost. And to be able to minister, to be used, many people at our 40 Days location, our vigil, have been used to minister to these men and women who have come up to us, and it's just been such a blessing. And we want to encourage you to continue to pray for everybody out there who is being used by God to minister to these people, and we want you to pray for these ones that have been ministered to, and help and pray that they get healing, and that they find healing and they find the mercy of God. So that's one thing that we wanted to share with you that's been happening out there. Some interesting things that have happened is we had our first counter protest. I believe they called it a rally of self-proclaimed, they called themselves pro-choice individuals. There were 5 of them, 2 boys, and I think there may have been 6 of them, and 3 or 4 girls. I wasn't out there myself. I think there were 3 or 4 other people out at the 40 Days location. My mother was one of them when the rally happened, and one of the counter individuals wore a gas mask, and the other had a bandana. I really don't know what this all stood for, and they had some signs that read choice and things, and they were all very young, and well, not very young, they were young people, probably in their 20s, maybe 30s, standing out to support Planned Parenthood. And one of the girls arrived late, and she walked over, and she was the only one, and she came and talked to the people who were at the vigil, and she asked them why they were there. And she asked them, what are they doing for women who do choose life? And what are they doing for women, period? And we were able to inform her of the many things that 40 Days for Life does try to do for women who do choose life. And we are able to do for women who are considering life and considering adoption. And we told her of all the different ministries we have, the financial ways we help, the spiritual ways we help, just everything we can try to do, we are trying to do for these women. And we were able to inform her of that and give her a positive message about people who consider themselves pro-life or people who are out there at the vigil, period. Another thing that we were able to do was inform her of the history of Planned Parenthood. She did not know about Margaret Sanger or that Planned Parenthood was founded by this woman, and she was very interested to hear that. So we were able to share that, and then also they were able to talk to her because she was the friend of, she had walked two of her friends into that abortion facility in the past couple of years to receive abortions, and that she shared that was why she was out there, because she had been so closely related to an abortion. And she supported that choice of her friend. Well, providentially, one of the women that was standing outside 40 Days for Life in Memphis had received 2 abortions in the past. 22 years ago, she had received them. And she shared with her that she regretted those abortions and that she was very sorry, and that she dealt with the pain and regret of that abortion every day, those 2 abortions every day. And she talked to her about what abortion was and how the experience affected her and how it affected women that other women that she knew that had had abortions. And she was able to tell this girl the truth. And later this girl opened up after this woman had spoken. She said, well, my friend's never been the same either. And it just reconfirmed that abortion just is hurting women. It's leaving victims, walking victims in our world that are wounded, that are feeling shame, that are feeling guilt, that are feeling hurt. And that just reconfirmed that, and that we were able to talk to her about the issue and discuss it. And it's dialogue like that that changes hearts, that opens minds. So that was very good that experience happened. Another interesting thing that happened is yesterday, March 30th, was our first active sidewalk counselors came out. So we had some sidewalk counselors who came out to the vigil location. And this is the first time at the new location that they have sidewalk counseled there. And they were able to talk to the women. And Planned Parenthood did not respond happily to this. Of course, it's bad for their business if somebody's trying to talk somebody out of spending $400 to slaughter their child. So the security guard approached, I was one of the sidewalk counselors. He approached us and he approached me and he said, you cannot do this, you cannot talk to these women. We will call the cops. He tried to take pictures of us and intimidate us, and then he went and spoke to Barry Chase, the CEO of Planned Parenthood, who came down, and he was right in my face, and he's saying, I'm telling you this right now, that what you're doing is illegal, it's harassment, I will have you put in jail. And I said, well, God bless you. I just listened, kind of zoned out a bit, but I said in the end, I said, God bless you. And I fully anticipated that they were going to call the cops. I wasn't that worried about it, nor the other sidewalk counselors. This isn't our first rodeo. We do know our rights, and you can speak to these women, and it's your right. So the cops were called, and so there was a lot of drama today, which was just unnecessary. I mean, all that we were out there doing, it was in a calm and charitable manner, was saying, please let me give you this literature. There is another choice. Jesus loves you and he loves your baby. And just little things like that. And it made them so angry and it made them so upset. And I remember telling Barry Chase, after I said, God bless you, he said, God does bless me. It's a shame he doesn't bless you. And that uncharity, that spitefulness, that just that sting in his words, I mean, it just goes to show how hurt he is inside, how cold and angry he could be. I mean, the whole time we're talking to him, I mean, it is absolute kindness. I feel no resentment at all. And but he's full of resentment. And I imagine the staff are full of resentment. And that's awful. I can imagine going through life like that. So later that day, it was really awesome what happened. After all of that went down, we had a guy approach us. I was staying there with 2 other women, and he comes up to us and he says, I've never done this before. He said, but I was driving down the road and I saw you ladies, and God convicted me to come over here and pray with you. And he starts this prayer, and it is the most beautiful prayer, and it was focused on the staff inside the building, and he said, please God, give them a conversion of heart. And he spent like 2 minutes praying for these staff inside this building, and he had no idea what had happened. He did not see the police cars. He didn't see anybody speaking to me. This was probably an hour after all of this had happened. And it was just a confirmation that God is working. He is working, and He saw everything, and He was behind us, and He was with us, and He wants us to love them, and He wants us to be merciful to them, and He wants us to represent Him out there. And so that was a beautiful experience that happened today, an interesting thing that happened. And then just these things like this happen all the time at the vigil. Every single day, little positive things happen, interesting things happen, and we're able to minister and help people that are walking down the street, that are in their cars. Abortion has 50 million lives have been lost. That's affected more than 50 million people, way more. It's affected grandparents, like I said, grandparents, pastors, friends, mothers, fathers, the women and men themselves. So many people are hurting from this Holocaust in our backyard. So that's some of the stuff that's been happening. We have a ton of more stuff to tell you. We have a midpoint rally coming up on April 5th at Planned Parenthood. It's going to start at 12 p.m. To 1 p.m. At the 2430 Poplar location. I hope I see you there. I want to encourage you these next 17 days to increase your prayer and fasting. Being out there as a Sidewalk Counselor Day really confirmed in me the need for more prayer and fasting. We need more prayer. We need more fasting. We need a life saved in Memphis, Tennessee. And it's through prayer and fasting that is going to happen, that these lives are going to be saved, that these women and men are going to be spared from abortion. So increase your prayer and fasting. Come out to the vigil. If you haven't come out to the vigil yet, you need to do it. Now's the time. Come out to the vigil. We need more prayer warriors, especially on Wednesdays and Fridays. If you don't know, Wednesdays and Fridays are abortion days at Planned Parenthood. That is when they do abortions. They have anywhere from 20 to 22, around that amount of women going in who are considering abortion, and who probably at the end of the day do have abortions. And the last statistics we had from 2009, those are the last ones that have been released, 8,500 women, over 8,500 women had abortions in Shelby County. So we need more prayer and fasting. We need more people who are out there. So many times I've heard that from women who had abortions, nobody was there for me. Oh, if somebody like you would have been there for me, I'm sure I would have chosen life, for my baby. And so we need you. We need you out at 40 Days for Life, praying and fasting with us. Sign up at our vigil site, www.40daysforlife.com/Memphis, and learn more about the campaign. And there's a link there to our vigil calendar where you can see the times that are open. We have 2 people there at all times. There's plenty of spots still left these next 17 days. And especially on Wednesdays and Fridays, we need prayer warriors. And Sundays, we're having a very difficult time filling Sundays. So we need prayer warriors on the day that we honor God. So, and we worship God. So please do consider coming out. Pray about it. Do it. Just go do it. It's very safe. It's all lawful. Everything's really safe and lawful. So don't have any hesitancy. It's a very peaceful campaign, and we just can't wait to have you out there with us. Stay up to date with us, what's going on through our blog, and we have a Twitter, and we have a YouTube, and we have a Facebook. So friend us on Facebook, and then also, if you want one of our a display representative to come to your church or come to your group, you can visit our website as well. And then we also have an email, which is 40daysforlifememphis, 40daysforlifememphis@gmail.com. And you can contact us through there, and we will have a representative and a display come out to your church so that we can spread that message of prayer and fasting. Join with me these next 17 days as we continue to pray and fast for an end to abortion in our city. It is going to come to an end. Someday we know in the end that we win, and it is going to come to an end. But before that, we need people to stand up for this righteous cause, so that before it does come to an end, more women and men are not forced to have that. They don't feel like that's their only option. We need people out there. We need people loving. We need Jesus represented out there on the corner. So I just want to thank you for participating these last 22 days, and encourage you to come out these next 17, and may God reward you for all you've done to respect life. Amen.